Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're here to tell you what's going on with your township boards, village councils, and the people that make regulations and ordinances that affect you.
That's right. These are the people that you elected, whether you live in Oxford Township, Village of Oxford, Addison Township, or the Village of Leonard. You elected these people or the people that they've appointed to commissions, and the decisions that they make directly affect you.
And it's all your fault if you don't get out there and vote, right?
And not voting is just like voting.
It is, through default.
Yep.
Anyway, let's get on with the meeting, shall we?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk first of all about the Addison Township Parks and Recreation meeting that they had on September 8th.
Who heads that up?
Joe Schnur. You know
Okay.
Joe?
I don't know him,
guy. He
but,
was in the parade last year, you know,
Okay.
the one that they had for the Strawberry Festival.
All right.
He was the head of the parade. His wife was alongside of him. She's, I won't say this, but yeah, I can say it. She's kind of the boss. You guys out there in Addison, you know this, and Leonard, right? Okay.
It'd be a great, political kind of a jingle. Sure, Schnur for sure.
Oh, I kind of like that. They probably would too.
Yep.
I think they have enough political activity, though. I don't think they're looking to get into any more, though.
In any event.
Pretty active out there.
In any event, how did Parks and Rec go?
How did they go? Okay, first of all, they had the minutes, which, that's fine. They talked about things that they had accomplished, so far, for Addison. For example, a new school furnace was put in at the Arnold School, so they're all set for winter now. Lake George, they have filled the basement hole where there used to be a house there, so they can level it out and landscape the area and provide
Makes it a little bit
picnic area.
safer too.
It makes, yeah, they kept coming out there.
Where's Johnny? Where's Johnny?
Yeah, hey, what happened to my cat? Oh, there it is down there. No. Oh, what the heck is that thing eating him? No.
Yikes.
Yeah, bears. They used to have bear traps like that, keep them open, cover them up somewhat. And then the bear would come along and fall in there and say, oh my gosh, I'm stuck. Anyway, that's the way it works.
Or
So they got it
someone,
filled
or
in.
someone you didn't tell about the trap.
Yeah, or the bear can be down there and say, hey, here comes a person. Great, okay, here comes my meal. Anyway, they don't do that in Addison anymore. They got it covered up.
Anymore?
Well, they used to years
well,
ago, and that's
then.
another subject. We won't get into that, folks. They also talked about restrooms. Instead of having a sign on every tree, there's a restroom. Now they're going to actually have restrooms.
Oh,
Yeah, that you can go
not
into.
just signs.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is those restrooms actually require access to the sun. In other words, you have to have them in an area where the sun can shine through. You can't have them in trees because apparently the sun.
So they were in a place where the sun didn't shine before.
They were, yeah. And actually behind every tree that was a problem. But anyway, so, and the reason for that is because the stacks get heated and they eliminate the fumes, coming out of the.
They create a convection current.
That's what that is. You got it.
Yes.
How'd you know?
Hey, I've been in an outhouse or two in my life and
Okay.
appreciated the great ventilation.
Well, you can come out. You can come out from behind the trees now. They're going to have outhouses there too. So anyway, they have a great park situation out there. All kinds of nice parks. You folks can contact Addison Township, find out where they are if you don't know, or you can check the map, by going to Addison Township
Good.
on the website. So anyway, Oakland County Parks and Recreation, they have a representative show up that gave a presentation. And what they want to do is make sure that the trails are connected with the Oakland County parks. So that's something that they're going to lay out, for future consideration. Good idea.
Very good.
Yep. Let me see. Watershed West.
Watershed West?
That's another location park, and they're going to have new trail put in there. It's needed.
What watershed is that?
I don't know. There's only one called Watershed West, and I think there's one
Usually they
Watershed
have,
East.
well, usually they have names.
They do, but that's what it's called, Watershed West.
All right.
I can't change the name. That's what they call it. Okay. Lake George. You know about Lake George, right? That's where they had a...
I know where Lake George is.
You do. That's some good news. I was afraid he wouldn't know. Anyway, he knows. So, Lake George had a home there that they had purchased. The township did, and they cleared it, and that's where they filled in the basement.
Okay.
And there's a couple things that they need to do yet. They need to select an area for picnic grounds. They need 2 areas that they can set up picnic tables. So they're going to review that. As a matter of fact, they just did that on the 13th. they had a meeting, which is after this meeting that I'm talking about. And they had a work crew of rangers that went out there, and they helped clear some areas and propose spot for a deck, to be used by the lake.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. The only problem with that is when they build this deck, it's kind of rough because they're looking to have handicap capability, wheelchairs, and it happens to be on a hill. Well, you could put them on the hill and just give them a push and have them go down to the lake, but
Well, I think the hill was grandfathered in, wasn't it?
it kind of was. Yeah. Yeah, it was done by God. So anyway, so they're trying to figure out how to get these wheelchairs down there. Suggestion is
Slowly,
bungee cords.
slowly.
But they figure there's got to be a way. I mean, if they can go down a big mountain by making, they might be able to do this. Might take a half a day for that wheelchair to get to the bottom, but by golly, they'll figure it out over there in Edison for sure. Okay, so anyway, so that's a concern. Another thing, interesting enough, they have a barn out there that's left over from the property, and they're going to use it as temporary storage.
Oh.
And they're thinking maybe that might be a good location, for storage in the future, which isn't a bad idea. So they said, well, we have critters that keep trying to get in there. They're called little rats. So you have rats that want to get in there. You run what they call a rat wall.
line? No.
A rat line, yeah. You put it out there and you troll them in. No, that's not what you do with them.
Oh.
They have a rat wall which is built around it.
A rat wall.
Rat wall. It's made out of concrete. But you got to dig a hole certain depth around the building.
And if that doesn't work, they use a Rottweiler to get it. No.
Now they get a really big cat or something along that line that they bring out there.
A rat wall.
Yeah, a rat wall.
Sort
You
of
never
a
heard of
miniature
that?
version of the Great Wall of China.
No, it's a pretty standard thing.
Is it?
Even for houses, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That kind of thing. But barns particularly, because these little critters like to get in there. They're
So
knocking on the door.
What does a rat wall look like?
A rat wall? It's concrete. It's like so thick, of a pour. It's kind of like a base that you'd have in constructing a building, but it's taller than that
Oh, okay.
to keep the critters from going up and under.
Maybe they
can't do
go.
it.
Maybe they go under and up.
Well, not unless they got dynamite. It's not
Okay.
going to work.
All right.
So anyway, so they had this big group of people, rangers, show up on the 13th, and they dug that hole and put it in. Took
It's almost
care
like a foundation, isn't it?
It is. Let me see. At the watershed reserve, and that's over there too, and I guess it's all marked out on the map where these different locations are. They assembled 3 picnic tables over in that area.
Okay.
And so that's pretty nice because they never had any picnic tables before that. And they put up signs up. Watch out for Lyme disease because it's around here.
Wow.
So they've got signs all over the place. You know what? We'll tell you more right after this.
Hi, this is Connie again from Connie's Kitchen, coming to you from Treetop Lodge, the place where magic happens and unicorns roam freely. Of course, you have to come to the lodge to understand about the unicorn thing, but they're everywhere. We'll be doing a wide variety of cooking shows here on Oxford Community Television, and I personally would like to thank the crew for coming out and giving me this opportunity to share my passion and what I love to do with you from Connie's Kitchen. So please join us on OCTV, join us at the lodge, and look for us all over the town. And if you see unicorns, they probably came from here. See you soon.
Hello, I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And together, Dave and I host a program called Minutes by Minute. We discuss what local Oxford and Addison politicians and appointed representatives are doing to make your life happy or miserable by passing laws, ordinances, and regulations that affect you.
We believe that within those political decisions is humor. You just have to hunt for it. For example, did you know there's a local ordinance that allows people to shoot off fireworks 24 hours a day, 365 days a year? But since they can do it, nobody wants to do it.
Catch us Monday through Friday on Charter 191 and ATT Uverse 99, scheduled for 7 a.m., 11 a.m., and 10:30 p.m., or go to our webpage, occtv.org, and click on Programs. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny. Each week, catch us on Minutes by Minute.
Don't miss it. Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we've been kind of beating up the Addison Township Parks and Recreation. Well, not beating them up, letting people know what's going on out there.
That's right. And the construction of the Great Rat Wall of Addison Township.
It is. Now is a good time, though. I want to tell the viewing audience out there that for a disclaimer.
A disclaimer?
Yep. Everything that we say here is almost true.
More or less.
Right. So just so you know, there's some true things in here. You just have to hunt for them. Everything we've spoken so far is pretty close to true.
Kind of like those movies that say, based on a true story. Kind of like,
It is.
Inglourious Bastards was about World War I, and that's about the true story. That's all that's there.
Absolutely. Now, they did get a lawnmower given to them, donated,
Oh, good.
but it don't work. It's a riding lawnmower.
No wonder it was donated.
Yeah. Well, actually, they've got some pretty talented people out there that are mechanically inclined. So,
Faith healers?
yeah, with chewing gum,
Rubber bands?
yeah, baling wire,
Bungee
They're
cords?
kind of putting it together.
Okay.
They got it so it's almost running.
Okay.
But
Oh, if it runs, it runs.
yeah. So anyway, it was free. Price is right.
Yep.
So anyway, they're going to have a riding lawnmower. And there's one person in the audience, and she said, "Hey, I can ride a lawnmower." So I'll volunteer. If you get this thing running, give me a call.
Well,
So that's pretty nice, I think. Yeah.
so what lawns is she going to cut?
Well, there's all kinds of grass, in the various parks.
Okay.
And she says, by the way, I have a horse trailer. I can put the lawnmower on the horse trailer and take it over to the other park. Like when there's a park at Lake George, I'll just put it in there and take it over there, and I'll mow that one.
Yeah, when she
So,
puts the
pretty nice.
lawnmower in there, the horse goes, "Aw."
Remember we talked before about Perch Pond over there, where the perch
That
had all
was a-
kinds of speckles?
Boy, that was several episodes ago.
It was. And you remember that the perch had spots.
Oh, yeah, and that wasn't ick.
No, and nobody wanted a spotted perch. I don't know why, but I guess because they don't look too healthy.
And now they're healthy?
Well, they're gone.
Well, that solved the problem, didn't it?
Last winter, we had such a hard winter that they said that these fish have perished, that they're gone. So the oats that they use, remember their process was to pour oats in. It was supposed to,
Now the oats have grown
purify
up.
the water. I don't know, whatever it is.
Or is it porridge now?
No, it could be porridge, I don't know. But remember that lake is not very deep. Probably the deepest spot might be 5-10 feet. So
Okay.
it's not very deep.
It's a pond.
It is a pond, yep, perch pond. And the suggestion is to aeronate, this pond.
Areanate?
You know how to do that?
You fill it with Aryans? Aerate.
No, you cannot take the Aryans and put in there. They just will not. They become little raisins. No, that don't work. So anyway, they have several alternatives that they can use. One is an electrical system, that if they can get power out there, maybe solar might be a consideration, but they're looking into those possibilities. They need to get air into the water because it's, got all these other things in there that don't
My
like.
nephew has one like that. It's a little windmill, and it generates enough force to bubble up the water.
Funny you were talking about windmills because they were too.
Ah,
Talking about windmills.
there you go.
So, but they're expensive. Windmills are expensive to put in there.
I suppose.
So,
It's
yeah.
not a very big windmill.
Right. But that would work. And there is a person, I guess, that lives in Addison Township that has such a system for their pond. Does your relative live in Addison Township?
No, Metamora.
Oh, okay. Well,
Or
forget that
Lapeer,
one.
I'm
I was
sorry.
going to try to get you an address, folks. But anyway, so anyway, yes, a windmill would serve that purpose. Now, the next question was, hey, where should we put it? Well, can you put it in the lake? No, you can't put it in the lake.
Neither is
that
my
won't work.
nephew's.
Yeah, you have to put it on the side lake. He said, well, what about vandalism? The bears come along, rip off the paddles. Whatever. What about vandalism? You got to watch those bears. They're vandalistic.
Oh, you can forgive bears.
Okay.
They're bears,
Chipmunks.
after all.
I know they're a problem. Chipmunks. Okay, a whole bunch of them. Anyway, so they said, well, there are points on this pond that it could be put.
I know. You can build a bear wall.
Yeah, they could build a bear wall. We'll send that
I
suggestion.
see.
Well, they probably see it on the air.
Right after the rat wall's
Bear
done,
wall.
you build a bear wall.
A barely good wall.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, we'll get over that one. But anyway, they need to get air in this pond. And then they said, well, when we get,
Beats you in a straw.
it does, but when they get the air in there, now they can add fish. yippee-yi-yay-ki-yay, huh? They'll put fish in there. And
Sounds like they got a giant aquarium.
it is. So when children want to go fishing,
Next thing will be a heater rod.
gotta heat them up. Well, there's the problem in the wintertime because the lake or the pond is so shallow. It deep freeze last year. I mean, you had fish that were frozen in ice. You know, they just couldn't make it. So that would be a problem again.
On the other hand, it kept them pretty fresh.
Right, they kept fresh. But here's what the commissioner said. They said, hey, we're not putting fish in there right now. They're expensive little critters, and we're going to wait until next spring. And that time we'll have a way to disperse and put air into this little pond. We'll keep the little.
How little is this pond?
It's actually bigger than what I'm talking right now. It's just that it's not very deep.
Okay.
Little ones will take their fishing poles, go on there, and they'll cast and they'll catch the little fish. You know.
Well, you can either
Real fishermen
you
don't
can
fish
either
there.
bubble air into it, or you can create a fountain that sort of sprays it up in the air.
Right. Like I
Have
say,
they investigated both options?
well, that takes electricity.
Use
up
a windmill.
You have to have a really fast wind to get that thing turning to get a spray up in the air. That I would like to see. Anyhow, they probably would too if that could happen. But anyway, that's pretty much it as far as what the Addison Township is doing. Let's talk about Oxford Village Council real quick. Village Council approved their bills, which they have to do, of course, at the very beginning. They had proposed ordinance, 2 of them, one for weight limits, 40 ton on Burdick Street, and a time restriction from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for trucks.
He says weight limit, but really that translates to trucks coming down the hill with a Jake brake.
It doesn't. We'll discuss that more when we come back right after this.
This is OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford and Addison Townships with the best in local programming. On Charter Channel 191, AT&T UVerse Channel 99, and our website, OCCTV.org. OCTV, we provide local programming that brings you closer to home.
Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we have been talking about the Oxford Village Council just briefly. One of the proposals is to limit the weight on Burdick Street. It's a brand new street. They've just put in all, excuse me, all new pavement. And so the residents don't want to have that area destroyed, you know, in a short period of time.
Well, it's not destroyed, it's just the sound environment.
Well, and they're complaining about the sound also. And
if you're
the
not
vibration.
Vibration, and if you're not familiar, trucks over a certain weight, in order to brake more efficiently, use something called a Jake brake, which turns the engine into sort of a compressor, but it makes a horrible noise as far as the residents are concerned.
It does. And so they had truck drivers there that were, of course, in opposition to limiting this traffic through there. Of course, it's a shortcut for them to get to wherever they have to go with these big gravel trucks. When it was all said and done, and all the smoke cleared and all the thunder put in some other direction, guess the council voted.
And
3-2, it was approved that there would be no longer any big massive trucks running up and down that road because they require at least 60 tons, 62, in order to, you know, and that's empty, driving that road. The limit will be 40 tons on it.
okay,
Other truck traffic can travel between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. and nothing before that or nothing after it.
other truck traffic?
Yep.
So what constitutes
40
other?
ton.
What constitutes other truck
40
traffic?
ton and local traffic that goes through there. Not the big gravel trucks, and you know, they carry the multi train units.
Okay,
So,
seems like an open door there somewhere.
well, here's the thing. They were wondering where the heck are they supposed to travel then? Well, certainly the village is looking out for what's good for the villagers. They're going to end up in the township. It looks like one alternative would be to, I'm trying to think of the road where the village or the township hall is located.
Where Township
Dunlap
Hall,
Road.
Dunlap Road.
Dunlop Road.
But Dunlap Road comes out on 24, and it's all dirt.
Right. There is gravel there.
Yep.
And so they will have to travel gravel until they convince the county to provide asphalt for it.
Right.
So-
And that's on I believe, the west side of Waterstone.
It is. And they're not going to be going through Waterstone, obviously, but
Temptation.
no, they better not.
Is there an ordinance against that?
There is.
Oh, okay.
So that won't happen.
Oh, that's right. I did see that there's no through truck traffic signs on,
Right.
What is it, Waterstone South.
Exactly, right. So not everybody's going to be happy with this, but I can tell you the residents of Oxford as a village, very happy with it. So the other thing that we want to talk about briefly is the Addison Township Planning Commission. They talked about the water quality. They had testing. It tested excellent at 29. I guess that,
29 what?
well, I forget what the code is. You know that, science-wise.
Well, it's grains per
Got it. Okay. Tell me more.
X number of gallons.
Right. So
Of
anyway,
something.
yeah, of something. You heard it first here. Okay, of something. Okay. But anyway, it's got to be less than 40 grams, and it is. So
Okay.
it's 29, so very good water there. Let me see. Richard Denny and Associates, which is part of Benji Holding Group, were there to represent the ability to take 3.5 acres roughly of 40 acres that they own and build a gas station combination party store.
Where would this be?
It's going to be on Rochester Road, towards Leonard.
Towards Leonard.
Yep, towards Leonard.
More in
Rochester Hill.
Lakeville or more in Leonard?
I think it's between Lakeville and Leonard, somewhere in that area.
There's a lot of twisty turns there.
Yeah, there is a housing development in there already. And they did a number of different tests in order to see if it would be approved. And some of those for rezoning, they need to determine if it's consistent with the master plan. And it was proven that it was not, was their opinion. So they said no to that. It was it compatibility, in other words, was it compatible with what there is next to it, and that's residential. So again, that was said no. They went through a whole series of things that they had to test this with. Let's see. Was there anything indicating that it was in opposition to the existing use? And they said yes, it was, that it should not be there because there is sufficient.
Existing use. What's it being used for now?
Well, it's not being used for anything right now, it's just a vacant property, but there is commercial property available which is unused, which is on the master plan.
Okay.
And so the suggestion is, no, we don't need any more commercial zoning.
I
We
see.
have sufficient.
But that piece of property is zone commercial or not?
No,
It's not.
it's not. Right now, it's zone country.
Country.
Yep. Outside, farmland.
Does Oxford have some similar one?
We do.
Okay.
Yep. So anyway, when all was said and done there, it was disapproved. The Planning Commission said that we are not the people that can approve or disapprove of this. It's our recommendation that we provide, and it'll go before the trustees in Addison Township. So they will make the actual decision, but our position here is that we don't think that it should be built,
Right.
period. So that
Okay.
was denied. Our recommendation was denied. What's coming up?
Well, there's a lot coming up, actually. On 9/16 at 7 o'clock, the Addison Township Public Library Board will meet. And on that same day at 7 o'clock, Village of Oxford Planning Commission. And the next day, 9/17, there's a whole slew of meetings.
A
7
slew?
o'clock, slew. At 7 o'clock, the Addison Township Fire Administration Board, and at 7 o'clock, the Oxford Public Library Board. At 3 o'clock, the Pollyant Trail Management Council will be meeting in the Village of Oxford offices. And at 6:30, the Oxford Board of Education will meet, and at 7 o'clock, the Oxford Township Board special meeting on budgets will take place. And on 9/18, at 5 o'clock, the Planning Commission Ordinance Review Subcommittee, and check on that one because sometimes they don't meet. And at 4:30, the NOTA, North Oakland Transportation Authority, will meet. And this time, the meeting will be at the Orion Township offices, so you got a little trek to make. And on 9/22, our parent organization, the Oxford Area Cable Communications Commission, will meet at 4 o'clock in the Vets Hall.
That's great. Okay, one other thing I'd like to say is that any of these programs that we're talking about in terms of meetings, if you want specifics, you can go to occtv.org and click on what?
And you click on Programs. And everything will be displayed, much like YouTube, but in reverse date order. And also, if you want to slice and dice, you'll be able to select the particular category, whether it's Oxford Township, Village of Oxford, sports-related things, and only see those if you wish.
And while he's slicing and dicing, I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kinney.
And we'll catch you next time on Minutes by Minute.
Your responses to surveys indicate that you want more trails. The Oakland Trails Advisory Council was established to coordinate trail systems and seek grant sources for future trail construction. You also said that maintaining and refurbishing existing facilities is a high priority, as well as continuing exceptional quality service standards. Oakland County Parks serves an increasingly diverse population of all abilities, ages, interests, ethnic backgrounds, and cultures. The needs of lifelong residents, as well as newcomers, are carefully considered when planning parks and programs. Oakland County Parks and Recreation pledges to create community by providing places to meet, play, and learn. Observe environmental responsibility with natural resources stewardship, and enhance fiscal sustainability based on a business model of effective and efficient operation. During the last decade, the Parks Commission has purchased 297-acre Highland Oaks, acquired Catalpa Oaks, an urban park in Southfield, added new campsites and cabins at Addison Oaks, opened dog parks at Orion Oaks and Lion Oaks, relocated and reconstructed the historic Ellis Barn at Springfield Oaks, and built a universally accessible playground at Waterford Oaks. When the recession created financial hardships for families, the Parks Commission reduced many admission and rental fees. A $100,000 fund provides no-cost mobile recreation visits to local cities, villages, and townships. The Parks Commission has postponed some capital development and maintenance projects, and staff salaries and benefits were cut. Your time and talents are needed now more than ever. Volunteers can help clean up and beautify parks and trails, assist in removing invasive species to restore native plants, or plant perennials and ornamentals in our greenhouses. Lend a hand at golf tournaments, or at special events for persons with disabilities. Since the park system's creation in 1966, voters have never been asked to increase the 1/4 millage rate. Oakland County Parks and Recreation has provided all that you value for more than 40 years. Future plans include expansion of walking, hiking, mountain biking, and ski trails, increased green initiatives to protect wildlife and water resources, $1.5 million to improve parks infrastructure and facilities, a 3-acre dog park at Red Oaks, serving as a resource for community recreation planning, computerized reservation and registration systems, and an enhanced interactive website. Oakland County Parks and Recreation promises to continue its commitment to excellence. We will uphold high maintenance standards, offer clean and safe parks, and preserve and protect the environment while operating in a cost-efficient manner. We value what you value. Next to liberty, our outdoor heritage is the finest legacy we can leave to our children.